Welcome to a world where architecture becomes poetry. In this episode, we explore sculpting space, the art of luxury minimalist living. This isn't just about clean lines and open layouts. It's about how space, light, and silence can elevate modern living. Let's dive into the harmony of less and the luxury of restraint. Minimalism begins in the mind. It's a philosophy that celebrates clarity, purpose, and intentional design. By removing the unnecessary, we create room for what truly matters. Luxury in this context is not about opulence but about focus on beauty, function, and tranquility within a carefully curated environment. Modern minimalism has evolved from a rigid aesthetic to a versatile, emotional language in architecture. Influenced by Japanese Zen, Scandinavian simplicity, and mid-century clarity, today's minimalist design embraces warmth, texture, and personal expression, offering a luxurious, balanced lifestyle that feels both timeless and contemporary. Luxury minimalist homes aren't just built, they're sculpted from the inside out. Architects start with the flow of daily life, considering natural light, movement, and sightlines. Every wall, window, and surface is designed to enhance both form and function, wrapping the occupant in quiet sophistication. Open-plan living is a hallmark of minimalist luxury. Spaces flow effortlessly into each other, dissolving boundaries. Yet, within this openness, there is order. Strategic zoning, subtle textures, and muted palettes define areas without clutter, creating homes that breathe and invite calm. What's not there is just as important as what is. Negative space, often misunderstood, is a powerful design tool. It amplifies form, focuses attention, and allows each element to stand out. In minimalist luxury, emptiness isn't lack, it's elegance in its purest form. In minimalist luxury, materials carry the weight of expression. Natural stone, brushed metal, smooth concrete, and rich wood tell a story through texture and authenticity. The palette is restrained, but each surface is chosen with precision, elevating the home through touch and timeless beauty. Natural light is the soul of minimalist spaces. Large windows, clear stories, and skylights invite the sun to sculpt interiors. Light becomes a design partner, casting shadows, creating moods, and enhancing spatial perception. The result is a living canvas that changes with the day. Luxury minimalism often plays in the monochrome spectrum. White, beige, gray, and black offer a serene foundation where contrasts are subtle yet powerful. This restrained palette doesn't bore. It soothes. It invites the eyes to rest and the mind to be still. In minimalist homes, beauty is found in purpose. Every element, from built-in storage to concealed lighting, serves a function. There's no excess, no ornament for ornament's sake. This alignment of utility and elegance creates a home that feels effortless yet deeply intentional. Minimalism reveals everything, so details must be perfect. Luxury lies in custom craftsmanship, hand-built cabinetry, seamless joints, and precision finishes. It's in the quiet sophistication of a flush door, a hidden handle, or a floating staircase. These are the signatures of masterful restraint. Minimalist luxury homes are designed to breathe. Ventilation, spatial flow, and natural materials combine to create an environment that feels alive and healthy. Air and energy move freely, uncluttered by visual noise, allowing both body and mind to relax and rejuvenate. Zen philosophy has long informed minimalist design. Its emphasis on balance, nature, and mindfulness inspires spaces that are both elegant and grounded. In luxury minimalist homes, this influence manifests in indoor gardens, water features, and layouts that encourage slow, conscious living. Blurring the lines between inside and out is central to sculpting space. Large glass walls, pivot doors, and terraces create seamless transitions. This connection to nature adds richness and depth, bringing in greenery, sound, and sky as living elements in minimalist architecture. Smart homes can still be minimalist. In fact, today's luxury minimalist living often integrates cutting-edge technology discreetly. Hidden speakers, automated lighting, and climate control systems operate behind the scenes, enhancing comfort without disrupting the visual serenity of the space. In a world that constantly demands attention, minimalist design offers something radical: silence. Not just auditory silence, but visual and emotional quietude. Luxury today isn't loud, it's peaceful. A minimalist home is a retreat, a refuge where stillness becomes the ultimate indulgence. minimalist luxury interiors, furniture is more than functional, it's sculptural. Each piece is carefully chosen to add rhythm, proportion, and presence. Clean lines, tactile finishes, and modern silhouettes define a collection that complements, rather than competes with, the architecture. One of the secrets to successful minimalist living is smart storage. Built-in cabinetry, hidden compartments, and multifunctional furniture eliminate clutter without sacrificing aesthetics. Clean spaces don't happen by accident. They are meticulously planned to support a life free of visual chaos. Minimalist luxury resists the ebb and flow of fleeting trends. Its strength lies in timeless principles: proportion, balance, and restraint. These homes don't need constant updating. They age gracefully, maintaining relevance and elegance year after year. Today's luxury minimalist homes often blend global influences: Japanese joinery, Nordic simplicity, Mediterranean openness. This fusion creates unique expressions of minimalism that reflect diverse stories and lifestyles, while maintaining the discipline and clarity the aesthetic demands. Minimalism isn't just for single professionals or couples. Families can thrive in minimalist luxury spaces, with open layouts that encourage connection, built-in play areas, and calming environments that promote focus, well-being, and creativity for both children and adults. Minimalist architecture aligns naturally with sustainability. Fewer materials, passive design, energy efficiency, and longevity are inherent in the philosophy. Luxury today is not about excess, it's about impact and creating homes that are both stunning and responsible. With less distraction, minimalist homes become galleries for art. A single painting or sculpture becomes a focal point, elevated by surrounding calm. In this space, art breathes and speaks, its voice undiluted by clutter or competition. Luxury minimalist living is more than aesthetics. It's emotional. It shapes how we feel, move, and think. It reduces anxiety, increases presence, and invites a deeper connection with our surroundings. The architecture becomes an experience, not just a backdrop. From the softness of a wool rug to the precision of an edge-lit mirror, luxury in minimalist homes is measured in details. Each element is selected and placed with care, crafting a holistic environment where nothing feels random and everything has meaning. architects today consider more than function, they design for wellness. Minimalist homes use biophilic design, natural light, ventilation, and sensory balance to support mental, emotional, and physical health. True luxury is a lifestyle that nourishes the soul. While minimalism often leans neutral, color can still play a role. Earth tones, muted greens, and deep charcoals add subtle emotion and identity to spaces. These tones, carefully chosen, enhance mood without disrupting the serenity that defines minimalist luxury. Perhaps the hardest skill in architecture is restraint, knowing when to stop, what to remove, and where to leave spaces in art. In minimalist luxury homes, this restraint becomes the designer's brushstroke, creating spaces that are not empty, but full of purpose. Across the globe, certain homes and architects have become icons of minimalist luxury. From Tadao Ando's concrete poetry to John Pawson's radical simplicity, their work reminds us of the power of calm, clarity, and space sculpted with intention. In the end, minimalist luxury is about creating a sanctuary, a place of pause, clarity, and refined beauty, a home that nurtures, reflects, and inspires. In sculpting space, we don't just design buildings, we craft lives. And in the quiet, we rediscover what luxury truly means.